Hi, everyone. We're so excited to be here today on Joan of Angels channel. And we're here to interview both Joan and Ford, our special guest on the power of transformational consciousness. So we're so happy to have all of you joining us today. Thank you for coming on board and really excited to be introducing both Joan and Ford. So Joan of Angels, also known as Dr. Joan Hangerter, Doctor of Chiropractic, is a channel for angelic energies. And she is here to heal, inspire, and remind others of their purpose and potentials. She acts as an intuitive guide, oracle, and transformational teacher, and is known for her healing messages, wisdom, and art that she channels. She is host of the Joan of Angels shows, a visionary artist, a doctor of chiropractic, and holds a master's in counseling. For over 40 years, Joan has guided, counseled, and uplifted people from across the world to align their body, mind, and spirit to reclaim their personal power and allow the leader within to emerge. She offers transformational coaching, soul awakening sessions, and offers energy healing and medical intuitive guidance. In 2013, she was guided to paint 33 angels in 30 days, thus launching her work as an artist and a channel for these divine beings to assist you. Super excited to be here with Joan today on this show. Thank you so much. Hi, Joan.
Tanjila, it's so fun to have you presenting on my channel like this. It's very exciting, and I
Well, it's
appreciate
fun to be here with you.
And also to hear my resume. Great to hear what I've done over the last few years. And
Exactly. Very impressive,
right?
and so much more even beyond that. I mean, that's just what I could say in a few minutes. And I'm just happy to be introducing you like this to everyone, and also excited to be bringing forward Ford. And just to introduce everyone to Ford, Ford is an American award-winning music producer, songwriter, and visionary. For more than 25 years, Ford has created music for some of the most famous recording artists in the world, earning RIAA production credits on more than 35 million albums sold worldwide and nearly 1 billion YouTube streams. Ford's discography includes Michael Jackson, Jennifer Lopez, Mick Jagger, Britney Spears, P. Diddy, Fat Joe, Missy Elliott, the Sugar Hill Gang, Jewel, Brandy, and much more. And beyond music production, Ford has been named president to 3 record labels, Nebulous Atlantic, Peaceman Music, and currently Phi Tribe, a conscious record label dedicated to transforming music into a healing modality for the betterment to mankind. Aside from a stellar career in the music industry, Ford is also an author of 2 books on consciousness and existential philosophy. Through extensive research, Ford has applied this esoteric wisdom of sacred geometry, frequency, and vibration to create an entirely new way to think about music. So welcome, Ford. We're excited to have you part of this show today.
Thanks for having me very much. So nice to meet you guys. Well, the other one I know, but she's the owner.
So
I
great
love
to meet
it.
you, Ford.
I
So
love
great
it
to
when
meet you
my
as well.
friends come together. So thank you so much for being on this. So tell us what's behind your head. Just out of curiosity, those records, what are
This is
those?
okay, all right, this is our first thing. This is the wall of ego. And then Joan said, you have to stop calling it the wall of ego. You have to stop that because you have to be proud of what you did, you know? But no, I've done some cool things. I'm in the music business and I've been doing it for a long time. It's awesome. I get to be a child my whole life, which is awesome. And that's a beautiful thing. And I got to do a few cool projects. So I'm grateful for that. But I'm more excited about what I'm doing now because now is Phi Tribe is about changing the world. You know, it's literally changing the music. You know, this is something that should have been done a long time ago. And
Curious. So how is it changing the music? Let's
it's
let everyone know.
Yeah, music is a healing modality. This is what it was always about. It's always about healing. And it got changed to something that isn't about healing. And I'm trying to bring it back to that. Me and some great people who are helping me put this together. We built a little label and it's pretty amazing. We're very, very excited about where it's going. And what's the most amazing part, which is blowing my mind, if you go to the comment section, there is so much love that other people are like, wow, why is there so much love? Like, it's almost like, what's in the Kool-Aid in this channel? And I literally said, we spiked the music. We spiked the music with this love frequency, you know? And I know that sounds cheesy, but you can mathematically get there, you know? But I don't want to exhaust your fans with, you know, all that stuff. But, you know, with real science, you can really put people into balance. And when they're in balance, they're in that state of love, you know, and it just pours out in the comments. It's just incredible.
Wow,
So
that's so
enough about me. This is boring. I
Well,
know my
let's
story.
show the channel for a second so everyone has seen it. Because no, I listen to your music to go to bed at night sometimes, and I love the meditations. And I thought we could show that for a minute. Okay.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Because I love your work. You're one of my favorite people. And part of it is because your consciousness is out of service. It's of healing. It's of raising the vibrational frequency on the planet. And that's why, you know, I love working with you. I love that we're friends, because we're all both together. Even we're about raising that energetic frequency to that of health, wealth, happiness, awareness, love.
Definitely. It's all about the vibrations, you know? And we do it through color too, the paintings and everything.
Yep, you do. Oh, you have someone on your Phi tribe called Joan of Heart. So that also is endearing.
Yes, yeah. She has a new single coming out Tuesday. I'm very happy for her. She's a very talented artist.
I'm going to have to listen to her, Joan of Heart, with Joan of Angels. So we'll do that. So this is your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. That's a short I did yesterday. But,
Hey everyone, this is Ford coming at you from Phi Tribe, and today I want to show you a really cool trick that you could be using those sleep programs for, even when you're not sleeping. As millions of you have already come to realize, Phi Tribe is not just normal music. It's what's called Phi balanced. This means the music is fractally harmonic with the mathematics behind sacred geometry and the Fibonacci and golden ratio. What this means is the music puts you in a state of pure balance, and with balance comes relaxation. In much the same way that this music balances you to relax you, it's going to have the same effect on the water, literally balancing the spin of electrons. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a whole drawer full of these old phones lying around. Simply go to YouTube, pull up the Phi Tribe channel, and just choose one of the sleep programs. Just put on a pair of headphones on top of the jar. It doesn't have to be expensive headphones. And just play the music while you're at work. And when you come home, you're going to have freshly charged, perfectly balanced drinking water. Try that for a week, and you're not going to believe the difference. Hey, everyone.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's a little spooky dust sprinkled on top, you know? No, it's really, very exciting. Very, very exciting. And Joan was a big part of me getting here, for sure. You know?
Well, that's exciting.
Definitely.
And that's what we want to be diving into today with both of you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just, here we're talking about the power of transformation, and would love to hear, Ford, a little bit about your journey meeting Joan and what this journey has looked like for both of you together.
Yeah. Oh, it's been, oh gosh, for so many years now. Back, you were in LA, and we were going to do that TEDx thing, right? Back then?
Years ago. Oh my God,
Years ago.
2012.
Yeah. So we were both presenting or doing something. I had a film that was going up or something, but it got canceled, or I don't remember the whole details. I wasn't there for the event ultimately, but that's how I met Joan, and she was kind of the liaison to all of that. And we just hit it off right away. The chemistry was just so awesome. I'm like, oh my God, this chick totally gets me, you know? So just for years, we've just been talking.
Were you already on a spiritual journey at that point, Ford?
Yeah. I'd already written my first book on, it's called Becoming God. And it's about awakening to self-realization, to that non-duality. It's a very hot word these days, you know? But yeah, so I had already got to that place, and that's kind of part of why I was presenting at that thing. And then I met Joan, and we were just like, oh yeah, we were just right on. She totally got everywhere I was coming from, and she's been kind of helping me out ever since. She's a wonderful guide. I mean, absolutely wonderful guide, and great friend. And great friend.
So what was that first meeting like? Did you know that she was a spiritual guide at the time?
No, I had no idea. In fact, we had been talking for a long time, and then my friend John, who had set us up for this thing, he's like, he's like, you don't know who this chick is. She's like big time, big time spiritual guru out here. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, we're just getting along and having a good time, you know? So I had no idea. No, that came
Wow.
much later. You know, we had multiple conversations before I realized that. Yeah.
Wow. And so
Yeah.
when and how did you guys start working together at the spiritual level, the consciousness level?
That probably happened closer to, I don't know, 2014, 2015. I was just major transformation in my life, and I felt like I had nobody to really that understood where I was coming from. I'm also transgender. Not that I believe in identity, so it's very, very awkward for me. I'm more of a young man. So, you know, it was very, I don't, it's impossible to talk to a shrink on this level, on this spiritual level. In fact, they're not even allowed to talk to you on that level, you know? But I was like, I have to talk to somebody who understands where I'm coming from, you know, that totally gets why I'm thinking what I'm thinking, you know? And Joan was like a rock for me there. And there were so many, here's the thing, there are so many things that she was telling me, and I was just like, come on, you know? And I wrote them down, right? And I tell my sister's like, she's laughing. She's like, it's not gonna happen. And then it happened.
Wow.
And then it happened. And I was like, holy moly, you know, wow, she like pegged it down to the way she looked, what her role was going to be. Like, she said, she's this woman that's going to come into your life. She's going to have long blonde hair. She's going to kind of look like a mermaid, and she's going to guide you in the way you look and your fashion. And she's going to just, she's here to bring you balance, and she's here to help you with balance, right? And bam, I'm telling you, that is the person who showed up in my life, right? And then she goes, on the next time we talk, she's like, and then she's gonna fall in love with you, but you're not allowed to fall in love with her. And then I fell in love with her. And then next time I talked to Joe, and Joe's like, no, you're not supposed to fall in love with her. But you know what? She was right. She was 100% right again. And I could mention like 50 things like that. So I've learned over the years to like trust her totally. And I'm just like, okay.
I didn't know you
Okay.
wrote them all down.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would write them down as you're saying it. So I would be like taking notes. You know, I don't do that so much more anymore because you record them for me. But back then I was, you know, taking notes. I didn't want to miss anything. You know.
Well, you haven't always
Yeah.
listened. That's true.
No, that's very.
And so, Ford, you mentioned that, like, you know, you were going through a transformational time for yourself, and I don't know how much you want to share about what that was.
I'm an open book. I'm an open book. Look, I mean,
and also, you're mentioning that you couldn't really speak to a psychiatrist about these things. So I'd love to hear about, you know, what kind of transformation you were going through, and what kind of support were you looking for, and that you have been able to get from Joan, like through this process, because I think that's a huge thing for people, right? Like, we're in this box and we're told, if you're sick, you have to go to a doctor. If you're confused, you have to go to a psychiatrist. And if those two things don't work, we're going to put you on medication. And that's kind of it. You know, it's like society gives us these boxes of our choices that we can make. And then if we can't do any of those, we have nowhere to go. Whereas we actually, as you know, spiritually, energetically, multidimensionally, our choices are absolutely endless. So,
definitely.
you know, I would love to just hear about your transformation and the support you receive, just to like help people open up to understanding like what kind of support is truly out there for us when we're going through a transformation.
Yeah. Okay. So this is ultimately, this is from my experience. Let's say my experience in life as a linear person, as a human being. I had the experience of being transgender as long as I can remember. Like 3 years old is when I knew that this is what I was. You know, like I didn't know that's what I was at 3, but definitely it's been there forever, right? But then I had the spiritual, and I came out when I was 26. I came out when I was 15 to my parents, and then that didn't really go well. It was the early 90s. I mean, it was early 80s, and you know, it was a different time back then, you know. And then in my 20s, I came out again. And I lived full time until I was 29. So from like 23 to 29, I was, I lived my other gender. And then I had a hit record, and I felt I felt immense pressure to, when I was touring, to not be transgender, because it was still a very taboo thing. It was not like it is today. It was very not cool. Gay wasn't even cool yet. It was like one notch being gay was like, ooh, gay. And then that was transgender was like one notch past that. You know what I mean? So, so I kind of went back and I cut all my hair off and kind of did the guy thing for a minute, and I got married. And I should say that my ex-wife, my wife at the time, she knew the whole story, but I did my best. I tried my best to be a man and be the husband and do the role and do the whole thing. I grew sideburns and I had short hair. And I don't know. So long story short, I had a self-realization in 2008, and I awakened to the present moment completely, the timelessness of the present moment. So it's hard for me to, it was very, very hard for me to navigate being transgender from a non-dual experience, And when I tried to have that conversation with a psychiatrist, they looked at me like, what's a non-dual? And who's Carl Jung? I know he wrote a book about psychology. Like, they have no idea about the deeper Carl Jungian ideas, So I was really, really stuck. I was doing a lot of learning and research on my own, but I really needed that sounding board who I could sound like a crazy person. And she'd be like, oh, and this is how crazy it is. You think it's crazy? Let me just show you how crazy it is. And that was Joe.
That was me.
That was you. Yeah. And, she's just been an amazing guide in that respect. It was a very, very extremely lonely time, feeling like, to speak to the transgender issue and the non-dual issue, is that when you're awakening to a non-dual, for those who don't know, when you're self-realized, identity falls away and time falls away, and it does not mean it falls away permanently. It's just there's a clear vision of what it is. So how do I be transgender without time and no history and no past? And how do I be transgender with no actual identity? There's no person here to be transgender. You see the dilemma? And that is what Joan was able to help with, that other shrinks, I should say, are not allowed to even talk about that kind of stuff, And to me, I'm telling you, this whole craziness with transgender, I believe it's part of a spiritual awakening. I believe, not that everyone has to go through that, but shaman do, they've historically gone through that, and we're turning it into this political thing, and it's not what it is. It's a spiritual thing, So that's my beef with it. And Joan is that one person that was able to go to and be like, all right, help me get through this, help me navigate this, So here I am now. I'm like kind of somewhere in the middle, but it's not even a thing. Like, I don't even think about it. It's not, people look, sometimes they stare, who cares? They stare at me because of my car too, So just, let them do their thing, and I'm going to do my thing and just be wild and crazy. Some people love it, some people are freaked out by it, but it's an easy way to get people who are not your vibration out.
True. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful story. And Joan, so what was it like for you to be, you had met Ford already, but now Ford is going through this transition and transformation. And, when someone comes to you that's going through something, like, what do you do? Like, what comes to you? How do you actually provide that support for people?
Well, I actually remember, Ford, when you reached out and asked if you can have some counseling, at that point. And I remember really just being excited to be able to help you on that level. You don't remember, but I actually remember you from when you wrote your book, Beyond
Becoming God, yeah.
And I was referred to you because I had written a book on miracles. And so we had started. So I was just, so honored that you thought I could help you. Okay.
Oh,
literally,
yeah.
and then you're so easy to work with in a certain way. You're so open to extraordinary kind of insights. So what would happen with Ford is because he's so connected to source that for me working with Ford, it was very, very easy because somehow the consciousness was open to the work that I could do. So we could look at what is the bigger meaning of this, past lives with this issue and impacting the work. And I remember when you met that woman too. I actually remember that. Although I almost never remember what I've said. So I'm actually happy. I do said, oop, your dog wants to come and visit.
No, it's okay. Good boy. Good boy. No, sorry, I got the time wrong and I ordered food and it just got here. So he's hungry. He's like, it's okay.
Oh yeah, now I remember. That's the dog.
No, go ahead, go back. No, go. I was so into what you were saying though, and we got interrupted by my scary dog. Sorry.
All right, so we'll just pick up right here.
Yeah.
But I just remember that you've been very, very open to some of the most outrageous connections that I might see sometimes, and then embracing them as in terms of healing. And I also remember, certain times when you might have heard what I had to say, but actually rejected it in a sense. And let's talk about that a little bit. What happens? Let's talk about that. Okay, I don't want to embarrass you. You don't have to say what happened.
You talking about with the girl or what? Or just that?
No, not with her, but when I told you about that person that should no longer work with you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm also a business intuitive.
Okay, yeah, she's that too. That was the other thing too. Yeah, I first started the Vi Tribe channel under the name Monatomic Music, and we were really, really struggling, but after 3 years, we got it pretty good. We had like 80,000 subscribers and millions and millions of views, and it was really going good. But I was unhappy, and Joan was very quick to point out that the chemistry wasn't right at the business. It just wasn't right. It wasn't right. And she kept seeing visions of a racehorse that needed to get rid of a rider. There's 2 riders on the back of the horse, and I had to dump one of the riders. Basically, is what she said. And it was very hard to do that because it basically meant that I had to start over, But I took that plunge and just did it. I followed her advice. Well, at first I didn't follow her advice, and it turned out to started to get worse and worse and worse. So finally, I just took her advice and cut the cord and took the plunge, and actually built the whole thing back up in just a matter of a couple of weeks. Just the energy was just completely right now, and it just kind of just went, whoosh, just took off. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited, and I've learned over the years to really, really listen to her and trust her. Joan is very, very good at getting out of the way. She knows how to be like. She uses her props, but then you could just tell. And then Joan's very good at like, okay, here, let spirit through to say what needs to happen, And a lot of times that voice that comes through her is we don't want to hear it. Or it's a bit much. It's heavy, Or we say that's impossible. That's not going to happen. Come on, it's crazy. How's that going to happen? That's insane. And then it happens, and you're like, oh, and then not following their advice again. So.
And so when we're working together, Ford, what has been your experience? Have your personal angels come through, guides? Have you seen past lives? Like, what has that looked like for you in terms of receiving this guidance?
Well, mostly for her, she definitely tells me that when she's getting advice from different ancestors of mine, and she'll refer to like I have a Cherokee heritage in my genetics, and I also have a Scottish heritage of noble lineage. So there's something going on there, and that I'm tied to. That she feels like she gets people talking to her from that, And it's very obvious when she starts channeling too. There's Joan, and then there's like the guide that comes through, or whoever it is, kind of just steps right in, and you're like, oh, okay, So that part is quite something, yeah. I can't thank you enough for all the years of advice and guidance. Really. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know. I just feel like this relationship with you gets deeper, and the wisdom that comes through gets deeper. And I don't remember what we talk about a lot, but I do remember that each time it's even more profound than the time before. That information that's about your music and what it's here to do for the world and the planet and your role will come through, and like your role in healing. And so I find it really, I love, so this is the kind of work I love. It's like, so these soul connections, I never know what to expect. And sometimes with Ford, I'll hear a voice that says, well, time to reach out to Ford. We've got messages for Ford. And the good news about Ford is if he gets, an email from me, it's time. We're on, we hop on pretty quickly. And it's always far more profound than we could have said. Like, there's just no way any of these sessions could have been pre-planned in any way, shape, or form, but they turn out to be profound. But I do believe that the part of why it works well is because we're going into your soul work, and you've agreed to do that soul work in a sense with me also. And a lot of my clients, I feel like I've worked in other lifetimes with, that we're together because we're here on this soul journey of raising the vibration of the planet. And that's why it's not difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I ditto.
And so, Ford, you have this incredible soul mission and soul work that you are really committed to now after your illustrious career with all of the superstars on the planet. You're really now committed to, transformation of consciousness through sound, which is, like you said at the beginning of the show, the origin of the sound. I mean, it has always been a healing modality for eons and eons and eons. Lumerians, Atlanteans, ancient Egyptians, the Vedic traditions, every tradition has known this and utilized sound for these purposes. And you're here to bring that back to us really, in this really incredible way, which is beautiful. How has that process taken place, like with this work with Joan and really tapping into your soul's work and being able to dive in this way?
Oh boy.
Great questions.
Yeah, great question. Um, the idea of changing music actually came many, many years ago, but I had no idea how it was going to get there. I didn't really understand the healing aspect of it. That kind of grew in later. And this Phi Tribe is like let's say like the fifth or fourth or fifth version of this idea. And each time it gets to be more and more about healing. And the thing about it that blows my mind is that I've been doing sound my whole life, and then I've had this spiritual experience, and then also just so happens that sound is literally the essence of everything. It's the cornerstone of everything. High frequency sound is light. High frequency light is matter, and it just keeps going and going and going, right? So the building blocks of everything is sound. And I brought this idea to the major labels, and against Joan's guidance.
I told you not to. Okay.
Yes. And
what happened?
They were not having it. They thought I was a loon. They were like, and I've already, I made these people a lot of money, and they're my friends. They genuinely like me, and if they were into it, they would do it. But I realized that this was not going to happen. Joan was right in the industry. This was going to have to come. This was like divinely inspired, and it had to come from the outside of all that cesspool, And I've been in that business for a long time, and I still make music for that business. So I don't want to like condemn it. It is what it is, But there's another way to do music that could be healing and balancing and loving. And I think that, as Confucius said, you really could tell the state of a culture or society by the quality of its music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to make a little difference there, and I think we're doing that. But unless someone does it, it's never going to happen. the idea of being able to do something that nobody has ever done before is quite appealing, especially today. Pretty much everything's been done, and you have to ask why. Why is that? Why is that? So Joan has really, really helped me zero in on what the purpose and point of all that is. It's really about healing the planet, healing all these people who are going through a rough ride right now. Like I said in the comments, we have 146,000 people every night sleep to these healing songs.
Wow, incredible.
Every night. And most of them will come and leave a comment because, they're just like, wow, this is unbelievable how great it works. And then they see all the other people just having a fit about how amazing it is. And to understand this is to understand that this is not necessarily music. It is music, but this is not music you've ever heard before. These are using frequencies that you cannot get on an instrument. We've had to use special technology to get to these frequencies. And you could say that, you could ask why is that? Why are these frequencies you can't get them? It doesn't matter. The point is, here they are, and now you can be healed from them.
Sure.
And experience it. Just experience it. It's quite incredible. So anyway,
do you feel like the power of the music that you're creating, with the sacred geometry and the fractals, has that been able to come through more powerfully as you've been able to be opening yourself up in this way through working with Joan and just really stepping into who you really are? Because like you said, you're transgender, you were married, you were living as a man, you were this, hotshot record producer. I mean, those are things that most people would not want to walk away from. There's too much to lose. It means everything. And how are you telling me, oh, this is not in alignment with my soul and I'm just supposed to walk away from my whole life? I mean, for most people, it's almost unthinkable, right?
It is. Listen, spirituality is not for wimpy people. If you're wimpy, get out of spirituality right now. You're not going to make it. You have to be very gutsy, and you have to be willing to take huge risks, and you need to have someone who can help you guide through that. You have to know, first of all, that when you jump off the cliff, divinity's going to save you. But unless you jump off that cliff, you never know how life will never change on its own. This is the thing that I've learned, especially through Joan, is life is not going to change unless you change it. You have to be the one. It's just going to be this Groundhog's Day over and over again until you do something to change it. You have to take that action step, and that's very scary for a lot of people. But something that I've realized too through our talks, it's hard to say because Joan guides me and then we're also friends and we have all these conversations. So it's kind of like, I'm mixing the two together. But, it's just, it boiled down to the lesson in it of the transgender issue is that I have to be authentic. That was the most important thing. And then the non-dual in me was I say the non-dual here was saying, well, who has to be authentic? Who is the person who has to be authentic? What is it to be authentic? And it came down to authentic expression. Expression is just happening, right? And if I limit that expression, you're bottling up what the possibilities can be. Maybe, and it's like a water hose. It's just coming out, and you can't try to stop it because you don't like something. You have to just let it go and flow, and just trust that wherever it's going to take you, it's going to take you. So yeah, I had to jump off a cliff. I lost everything. I lost a beautiful marriage and all of my things, everything. I lost everything. Beautiful house, cars, blah, 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 the fantasy life, right? All for this. But at the end of the day, this has brought me to peace. This has brought me to peace. None of that stuff fulfilled me. Not the fancy cars, not the $1 million house, none of that, right? That wasn't the answer. The answer is authenticity, trust, and completely doing you. You've got to you have to be so brave to absolutely do you without any pretense. No pretense. That's divine spirit coming through you. No pretense. When you hold that back, you're just ruining the whole painting. You know? You gotta totally let go and let it just, the painting just comes out. The painting of your life. However it
Powerful.
goes. If I'm crazy, I'm crazy. Here's. Guess what? I'm having a good
It
time.
takes a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Huge
for
amount
that
of courage.
amazing work to push through to get to this level where there were times you could have just walked away. It's like, you know, or gone back to your old life, because it sounds like they would still like you in that life, you know, as that producer, and the kind of status that you get from being that kind of producer. Very few people ever get to have that, you know, so
Yeah.
walking away from that. One of the things I love most working with you, it's not work, that's the worst word I've ever heard for our connection, because it's like diving deep into spirit. It's so profound. But one of the things is, every so often on these hits on your music also, and what it means to the world, and like, you know, kind of the kinds of sounds, like the other day, feeling that there's a new music harmonic coming, like new, you know, just I can feel it coming. And I just love that you're just progressing. I take it, you know, it's like my own progress. And I love hearing your feedback, by the way, on what's gone on, you know, in this connection that we have.
Oh, definitely. I first, I mean, you're taking the plunge too right now, so you get it. You're totally getting it too, you know. And I'm in there, and I have an intention to heal the world through music. As crazy as that sounds like you know, crazy talk. You know, it sounds like White Stallions. You know, get the band back together, kind of thing. I've let go of any idea of what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like. You know, and then letting go, it's all just kind of coming together. And just yesterday, me and another engineer here, we're just having amazing conversations about just the possibilities of how amazing this could be. Like, when I say that this is the end, this could be the future of all medicine. Not that it's going to come from some music on a YouTube channel, but where this science is going to literally heal the world. This will be the new medicine for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
I mean, I completely agree with you, Ford. I mean, the future of healing is through vibration and frequency, which is sound and light. And that has actually been the technology for eons. And we are just bringing that back into the here and now. And so you may be thinking you sound crazy when you're saying I'm here to heal the world through sound, but actually, no, you know, like, this is what we're here to experience now. We're all here for the ascension and to heal the world. And it will be coming through frequency and vibration, sound, light, and these energetic transmissions that are happening between you and Joan out, and then coming and pervading out into the world, you know? And so I think this is such a profound conversation to witness, because, you know, we may think, oh, we're talking about, oh, these conversations that you two have been having over the years, but the energetic transmissions that have been occurring between you two and continue to occur at the multidimensional levels, you know, at all the different levels on which you are working together and have been working together. You know, it's coming to this moment to be able to speak your truth, to be able to express your authentic self. And Joan, for you, the same, right? It's like, it's this, you know, reciprocity and this relationship of energetic transmission happening, which is really profound. And Joan, I just want to ask you, like, as you know, you're the guide in this relationship, and, you know, how has that been for you to just witness Ford coming forth and stepping into her true self, authenticity, you know, to be able to come here and say, even though I don't think it sounds silly at all, and say, I'm here to heal the world through sound. I mean, when you think about the Ford you met a few years ago, who would never have said that, and then who's saying that today, like, what has that opening look like for you?
Well, Ford was married with that car and the new book and that gorgeous wife when we met. Okay. And I too was different in those days. So I'm going to say that this has been exciting because I work with visionaries. I love working with leaders and visionaries because we go direct to the spirit and the guides that are creating those visions. That's where the information comes from. So it's almost like interpreting your guides and the guidance that you're getting sometimes, and I act like that. So to me, being in that state, I could be in that state 24/7. It's my favorite state to be, being in contact, but also it's a privilege. It's such a privilege because you're doing such great work that I'm a part of that. That little part is a part of that. I take great excitement and pleasure and personal pride as if I did something. I didn't. I just connected you with that guide that was it's just such a life-changing experience for me too.
Totally. One thing you did early on was one of the first things we released on the channel. She's like, you need to do shamanic drums. She kept telling me to do shamanic, right? And she kept telling me over and over again. I was like, all right, Joan, I'll do shamanic drums. It was very like,
I annoy it. I think I annoy you sometimes.
No. So
like a
I
little
did
nag.
Right. And my business partner is very, very connected to his Indian Native American roots, and goes to a lot of Native American events. And I mean, he's heavy into it. And he comes back and he's like, that is the most authentic shamanic drums I have ever heard. And I've been going to these Native American festivals for years. And that was like, you nailed it,
Wow.
And I felt like I just, like she does, I just get out of the way and channeled it, but I never would have done that had she not pestered me about it.
I hear your ancestors periodically, and
yeah,
it's so cute. It's like I get a phone call from spirit. Time to talk to Ford. Time to new messages. So what I like it, it's just great. They do talk. Like the other day too. There's new music they want you to do. They love. Even we talked about the drums the other day. They just love when you, and the flute. It's like I'm hearing that.
So yeah, I have a Native American flute on it's literally on my shelf. I have a friend who made it for me. He's makes this Native American, his handmade flute, this beautiful Native American flute. It's sitting on my shelf forever. And she's like, I don't play it because I can't make the sound come out, right? So she's like, says to me yesterday, she's like, do you play the flute? I go, no. She goes, you're supposed to play the flute. You're supposed to play the Native American Indian flute. I'm like, oh, the one that's sitting on my shelf that has dust all over it that's never been used or touched? She's like, yeah, get that off, dust it off and figure out how to play it. That's your next thing. So that's what I'm working on now.
Isn't that great? This is so great. So that like you're so open to, you don't even question it. It's like, and then it's like, one of the things I love working about Ford is always when I say something and it's so bizarre, like it's so random, like I don't even know where it comes from. And then a few sentences later, Ford will say, well, Joan, I've been doing this, like what you were saying, or you'll always confirm for me that we're in the right direction. And that's an intuitive that helps because I'm not psychic, in those ways. I'm more empathic and intuitive.
Yeah, you're more, very empathic. It's like they talk through you, and it's just so natural for you. It really is. It's really incredible.
So, what would you say to someone who might be considering working with me?
Definitely. Oh my God, run to Joan. Definitely, run to Joan. Definitely. No, I trust Joan implicitly. She gives me just such beautiful advice, and has been such a dear, wonderful friend for a decade now. Oh my gosh, I've known you for a decade. We're getting old.
2008.
Oh my gosh.
I remember it was 2008. So we've known each other a long time.
It's been a long time. Yeah. So, run to Joan. She's definitely, and listen to her. When she says crazy shit, sorry, I don't like curse. When she says crazy stuff, you got to be like, all right, and you have to see what metaphor she's saying, because it may not be exactly what she's saying, but you'll see it in your life. She said something last night. She was like talking about getting up with the roosters or something like that, and I was like, oh my God, for the last 2 days I live in the city of Atlanta, so like I live in the city, you know what I mean? But I've been hearing a rooster in my neighborhood at the crack of dawn because I go to bed at the crack of dawn, you know? So, I'm like, it's so weird that you're talking about a rooster, and then for 2 days I've had a rooster, you know, roostering me to bed. It roosts, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed.
That's pretty funny. Oh,
Yeah,
and the rooster was announcing the whole new dawn, which is like the new dawn of the music. And it was really sort of
very intense. Yeah. It meant a lot. It was like the trumpet calling me to work or whatever, you know? So.
But that's what happens in the reading.
Profound.
A confirmation, you know, is really always important. It's like I'm thinking, rooster, why rooster? And it's like, now the rooster's been hounding you for days.
I'm like, who the hell has a rooster in the city? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, it's crazy.
But I think that's a confirmation that, oh yeah, we're in the right place. We're talking about the right things. So guys, I love that this has been just great. I love that Tanjila said invited you to come on the show.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story, for being so brave and courageous to be who you truly are, and to share your story with everyone, and to also share your story about your experience working with Joan. And that's very powerful because, again, I think, people really feel alone. And, when they're going through these personal crises, don't know where to turn to outside of, the few places that we're told that's where you can turn. But, as you've shown us, like, we have all of the multidimensional realms, all of the support and guidance of our ancestors, of our angels, of our guides, like, all out there. And to be able to work with someone who can help us tap into all of that is huge,
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. She's very, very wise, and you need to have that person who could just be real and wise with you. And there's so few people because there's attachment going on, I mean, Joan and I are friends, but we've met once, I think, in person. I don't think
we have never met in person.
Never met. Oh my gosh, it's so weird because I feel like I totally know you. It's so strange.
It's gonna happen.
But you need to have that. You need to have that person who could just be real with you, And a counselor's not going to do it. A shrink's not going to do it. Your parents aren't going to do it. Your friends aren't going to do it. Facebook isn't going to do it, right? None of those people are going to tell you what's going on. You need to have that one-on-one with somebody who can just be like, all right, let me just step back and look at this for you. What are the guides telling you? And you kind of go, oh my gosh, here we go. But they're spot on. They come through and they're spot freaking on every time. So yes, I encourage everybody to have Joan in their life for sure. They do. I mean that with all my heart. I do.
I get it. I'm just so honored.
Wow.
I love.
So do Mickey Mouse ears or the halo? I'm not really sure what I should do. I keep moving.
Oh, well, that's kind of interesting. Your head's right in the middle of the circle. We call that the corona.
There you go.
Well, we're almost over. I just noticed that. I was like, oh.
Isn't that interesting?
We'll do the halo. How's that?
Completely aligned. It reminds me of some of the old Egyptian photos where they're just sort of aligned properly.
A little bit more me.
Well, now you're in the middle, so that's between those.
It's the Mickey Mouse. Kind of like doing that. It's backwards. Anyway, I'm just teasing.
So powerful. Thank you, Joan, and thank you, Ford. I mean, this has been such a powerful journey for self-discovery and transformation. And I just hope, like, everyone who's watching here really feels and understands that the level of support that each one of us has, available to us during these times. And, we're all being asked right now to come forth and to embrace our gifts, embrace who we are, but we don't have to do it alone.
No, you don't have to do it alone, Speak to your, have someone to rely on who can be objective. Everybody needs that. And who's wise and connected, to source. Got to have that.
Must have that.
So thank you. And it's so nice to meet you, Tanjila. Very, very nice. And you're a wonderful host. You're so poignant and right perfect questions and just awesome. This is your calling for sure. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much,
Awesome.
Ford. Well, hope to have you as part of our Soul Search family.
Yeah, anytime.
Because I also have a mission here, like Joan and like you, to heal the planet and bring forth consciousness into the world. And I was called to build this platform, Soul Search, to bring together energetic and spiritual teachers like Joan, healers, guides, but also like you, who are doing this, through all the modalities. There's all the modalities: sound, vibration, frequency, body work, channeling. We have a million different paths to source. And so it's just so beautiful to have this, be able to share this space with both of you, to show that each one of us are on our own path, but we have unlimited source from support to create.
It all comes back to sound, Tanjila. You're with the word.
Yeah.
With the word, it was all created. And that's what you're doing. You're doing it with sound. You're using your voice to change the world, right? It's going to do it. It's going to do it. Well, you're great at it, so keep it up. Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Pleasure
I'm
meeting
looking
you.
forward to checking out your music. And we had Kelly here chatting and saying that we have to check out your 7 chakras healing sleep videos for amazing dreams. So maybe we'll be checking that out tonight.
Yeah. The third eye one, people have lucid dreams on it. It's got like 3 million views in a couple months. It's incredible. But I think the solfeggio is the most powerful, personally. So
which one is it?
I have a solfeggio series out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you'll find it on my channel. But those are extremely powerful. Yeah, extremely. Yeah,
I've been listening to them recently.
Yeah,
I've been listening to them, and I don't know the difference between the solfeggio or the others. I just to let everyone know that they're really powerful and they're soothing. So the other night I was trying to listen to someone besides you, and it started irritating me. Okay, like you're trying to go to sleep, and it started irritating me, and it was like, oh my God, I'm not even going to tell you who it was. And I just went back. I said, when you go to Ford and Phi Tribe, you're going to get like something soothing to your soul. You can keep your eyes closed and click on something and still get soothing. And it was really a treat.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So I appreciate you to the moon and back. I'm just so excited that we work together, and happy to meet Tanjila, because she's also one of my favorite people. And I know
And Ford, I would love for us to do some work together as well, really bringing your sound and vibration and music out in many different ways. So it's something I'm very passionate about, of sound as a healing modality. That's really what I believe. Sound and light, vibration is what's going to shift consciousness at the mass levels. So,
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, I'm excited to see what you bring to all of this. And definitely thank you for having me. And anything you'd like me to be a part of, I'm really, really happy to do it. I really am. It's all about just spreading this message to as many people as possible, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. It makes the world will be a lot less cranky. And how nice will that be, right?
I was told that for vibration, that my mission was to help raise the vibrational frequency on the planet, and not one soul shall be lost. And it takes a team of vibrational alignment specialists to do that kind of work. And one of the honors is that, my clients, people like you, just become the people that I want to change the world with also. So that's really exciting. So we love you.
It is exciting.
It is. It's very exciting. So guys, check out Phi Tribe, because know that that's some of my favorite music. And I get my own soul restoration from listening to Ford's music. And check out Soul Search Guides, because Tanjila is also one of my guides. She's been helping me just, look what a great interview she just conducted. I could never have done this interview on my own.
She's so good. She's so good. Yeah, totally.
So good. And guys, I'm at Joan of Angels, all things Joan of Angels. So we're just so happy to work, just to raise the vibrational frequency of the planet is what we're all here to do.
Exactly. And just Ford and Joan, thank you for your vibrational leadership and, leading the way in this whole awakening that we are now all experiencing together. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. People remember who they are. and feel into their power, feel into what their gifts and their skills are. I've really helped people let go of what no longer serves them and transform that into fuel for their mastery, for them to shift their life into the positive. The magic happens when you can hear your heart sing. Literally hear your heart sing. I just want you to know you were born for this, that you have everything you need to really do you this lifetime. So let's get started. Let's make magic together. We'll see. That was a great interview, Tanjila.
Oh, no, that was awesome. Amazing. That was really fantastic.
Yay. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Always help people remember who they are and feel into their power, feel into what their gifts and their skills are. I've really helped people let go of what no longer serves them and transform that into fuel for their mastery, for them to shift their life into the positive. The magic happens when you can hear your heart sing. Literally hear your heart sing. I just want you to know you were born for this, that you have everything you need to really do you this lifetime. So let's get started. Let's make magic together.